Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out NBA.com's Eastern Conference Power Rankings. Let's get right into it. So here we have the article right here. We got off-season power rankings, Celtics, Bucks, keep top spots in Eastern Conference. As I expect, I mean, these are the two top teams, have uh, great defenses. Celtics have the number one defense, two young superstars, and Bucks have Giannis. So let's get right into it. Okay, starting off at number one, we get the Boston Celtics, showing their 21-22 record. 51-31, had the best defense. Um, Offense improved as the year went on. Had that historic run to the end of the regular season. Swept the Nets in the first round, made it all the way to the NBA Finals. Had some big um, additions this offseason without having to give up too much. They acquired Malcolm Brogdon from the Pacers, only have to give up Tice. And Aaron Nesmith picked up Danilo Gallinari after he was bought out by the Spurs. And the only thing we're really concerned about is these Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant trade rumors. I hope that trade doesn't go down. We shouldn't be getting involved in that stuff, but the Celtics, expect them to be big time contenders next season. Uh, with Tatum and Brown hopefully taking another step. And now the only biggest concern is Al Horford and Robert Williams. Hopefully they stay healthy next season. That's a concern with also Malcolm Brogdon. He should help us a lot, but as long as he stays healthy, I don't see why not the Celtics make another deep playoff run. All right, at number two, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. They finished with the same record as the Boston Celtics last season. The East race was very, very tight last season, and the Bucks didn't make many changes, but they did some signings. They signed Joe Ingles. He was with Portland after the Jazz had traded him after he tore his ACL. He should be able to be a good role player off the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks. Not sure how much minutes he'll get coming off that ACL tear, but as long as they have Giannis, I think the Bucks will be contending. They didn't have Chris Middleton in the 7 game series they played against Boston, and he'll be back next season. So at number three, we had the Philadelphia 76ers, who made some really important moves for this team, building around Joel Embiid and James Harden. Uh, a lot of their key players, Maxey Harris, we know they have a pretty strong starting lineup, and the three guys that they did add are very huge to this team because all three guys, D'Anthony Melton, PJ Tucker, Daniel House, could shoot and defend. That's what they needed. They lost Danny Green, but he tore his ACL, and now at his age, it's not an ideal to just keep him around. They got D'Anthony Melton, who's still only, I think, 24 years old. PJ Tucker, Daniel House, two guys that could step into the starting lineup and start if they need to. I expect PJ Tucker to be in the starting lineup, but we'll see how the Sixers can do. Joel Embiid, been an MVP candidate the past couple seasons, and James Harden has to bounce back this season and come back to his old self. At number four, we have the Miami Heat, the number one seed last season. They lost PJ Tucker. They have a lot of guys on that roster that are been developed well, and they didn't really add anyone new. They added Jovic in the draft. That's about it. We'll see what Miami does with the starting lineup now that Tucker's out of there. Uh, Lowry's aging. We saw that in the Celtics series. He really didn't look like himself. He really battled those injuries. Maybe that was the biggest issue with him. I don't see him having a heavy workload next season until playoff time. Hero hasn't been resigned yet, I don't think. So maybe Gabe Vincent gets more minutes. Uh, Oladipo's still there. They signed him back for, I believe, 1 year. And I'm expecting to see something like Lowry, Strus, Butler, Caleb Martin, and Bam. So we'll see how much if they need any more size. I think that might be a factor, but Bam Adebayo protects the paint pretty well, and I know that Miami can develop their players, and the role players will thrive in that system. At number five, we have the Toronto Raptors. They had a great end to last season. Toronto keeps most of their core from last season. They only added Otto Porter Jr., who was on that Golden State Warriors championship roster. He should give him some spacing off the bench. But with Barnes going into his second year, winning Rookie of the Year, Siakam had a great year last season. Van Vliet still there, Trent, Anunoby. The Raptors should be fun to watch. To add to that, the Raptors are probably one of the bigger teams in that league. They have a lot of size. Um, Hopefully their spacing could work next season because their shooting isn't that strong. So I could see them adding some more shooting. At number six, we have the Chicago Bulls, who had a great start to last season. And it just all went downhill once Lonzo Ball got injured. They were gone. They were like the top seed in the East, and it looked like everything was going right for them. Lonzo gets injured, and I will say they have a lot of guard depth. Ayo Dosunmu, the rookie second round pick from last season, stepped in, played really well. They added Goran Dragic and Andre Drummond in this offseason. So they have a lot of guards, like I just said, Caruso, Ball, Dosunmu, White, and now Dragic. Dalen Terry, they drafted him in the first round at pick 18, I believe. And we'll see. DeRozan had a great year last season. We'll see if he could do it again. Levine just re-signed, so we'll see what this Bulls team could do. They just couldn't stand a chance against Milwaukee in the first round last season. So when heading into this year, the East should be competitive. We'll see how the Bulls do. And this is the one that everyone's wants to see. We got the Brooklyn Nets at number seven. Uh, for this offseason, it was pretty bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. They traded a first round pick for Royce O'Neal. Not sure how that's helps them now that KD and Kyrie are in trade rumors. TJ Warren's a nice signing, but losing Bruce Brown is big. I really like Bruce Brown. He's a good cutter, and I think he's going to be really good in Denver. With Jokic getting him the ball and cuts, he's going to be a really good player in Denver. They lost Drummond. And it says any good vibes that might have been remaining. Yeah, it's really shaky there in Brooklyn. Uh, and I don't know, when are these guys going to get traded? Not much else I really have to say about this. Just the team chemistry is not there. So we have the eighth team. We have Atlanta Hawks. The biggest trade they made this offseason, DeJounte Murray. They gave up quite a bit for him, but he's going to play defense and give them another secondary ball handler next to Trae Young. He should help out a lot. Um, there are some concerns for them with DeAndre Hunter, John Collins not staying healthy a lot of the time. Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu, great rim protectors. They lost Kevin Herter, Gallinari, so that's some shooting they lost. But Hawks just need to defend better. That's one thing they got with DeJounte Murray. He should help with Trae Young. Less turnovers, I expect, with having two ball handlers. We'll see how it works out. We'll see if giving up this much for Murray pays off. All right, number nine, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. This shows how deep the East really is, because I really think Cavaliers, especially seeing what they did last year, they're a pretty good young team. They finished 44 and 38 last year. Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland made their first All-Star appearance. Very young team. Don't forget they have Evan Mobley. Um, I don't think Colin Sexton re-signed, and I'm not sure what's going on with that. But they added Ricky Rubio. They got him back. He was a big piece to their success early on last season, and the health really hit them last season. A lot of their players got injured. Lauri Markkanen and Kevin Love are there, both stretch bigs, so they should have pretty good shooting. And I expect Darius Garland to take another step in the right direction. And at number 10, we have the New York Knicks. Very disappointing season last year for the Knicks. Randall had an atrocious season. RJ Barrett, though, is one guy that I want to see thrive next season. Um, he averaged over 25 points per game, I think the last maybe like 15, 20 games this season, if I'm not mistaken. The biggest signing they made, who I think they probably, I don't like the contract. Jalen Brunson got a hell of a lot of money to play point guard for the New York Knicks. I'm not sure about this Knicks team, to be honest. It's really about if Randall's gonna step up and play better next season, because the Knicks in this Eastern Conference probably won't be able to contend if Randall's not playing good, how he's supposed to be. At number 11, we have the Washington Wizards, who had, honestly, I don't think they had a really good of an offseason. That Bradley Beal contract is really concerning. 60 million, or was it 50, 60 million, for a mediocre team that's not really going to be able to contend in this Eastern Conference. They traded for Monte Morris and Will Barton, giving up KCP, who was probably the best 3-and-D guy, for a team that doesn't really have that much uh, 3-point shooters and defense. Monte Morris is a pretty good point guard, but if he's your starting point guard, I'm not sure how far you could go in the playoffs or even make the playoffs. Will Barton, not really much of a 3-point threat. We'll see how he does. They added DeLon Wright. Johnny Davis was drafted. He didn't look too good in summer league, so we'll get to see some more out of Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis together. At number 12, we have the Charlotte Hornets. It's an unfortunate situation with Miles Bridges. They didn't really make much changes to their team. Steve Clifford's back as the head coach. James Borrego was fired. They added Mark Williams, rim protector out of Duke. A position of need, though. That's good that they got a center, but I don't know how good this team's gonna be next year. LaMelo's fun to watch. They can't defend for shit though. Uh, Rozier, I love Scary Terry. Not much else I could say about the Hornets. At number 13, we had the Pistons, who had a really good offseason. They added Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren in the draft. Two guys that I think will be fun to watch. I want to see how they do in Detroit. Jalen Duren, really fun to watch him. Brings a lot of energy. Jaden Ivey's so electric in the open court. If you guys haven't seen my summer league reactions to them, go check them out. And they added Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel in that Knicks trade. I'm pretty sure they bought out Kemba and they traded Jeremy Grant. They got a first round pick for him. But I want to see this Cade and Jaden Ivey duo. Sadiq Bey, another guy that could score on the wing. They have Isaiah Stewart, a bigger big man rotation now. They have a lot of bigs. Marvin Bagley was re-signed. Kelly Olynyk's still there. So we'll see how this rotation is. But Detroit is definitely in the right direction. I think that they could build this team and start moving up in the standings in the Eastern Conference the next like 2-3 years. Number 14, we had the Orlando Magic. They had a pretty awful season last year, and obviously the biggest addition being Paolo Banchero, taking number 1 overall. They bring most of their guys back. Robin Lopez is the only one that left. They re-signed Mo Bamba. They have a lot of guards there. Markelle Fultz, Suggs, Anthony, R.J. Hampton. So they have a lot of guard depth. Jonathan Isaac hopefully comes back from his injury and shows off his defense once again. He's a really good defender. And we'll see how Paolo does in his first year in the league. So I don't expect Orlando to make much of a playoff push at all. I don't think they'll sniff the playoffs at all, but it's going to be fun to watch Franz Wagner in his second year. Hopefully Cole Anthony becomes more efficient. The Magic's just not really that good of a team yet. Their young core should be fun to watch. Really excited to see Paolo. And ranking number 15, dead last in the Eastern Conference, is the Indiana Pacers. Now, I think the Indiana Pacers did some really important things this offseason. It was just like for a couple years that they just were like not have a certain path of where they wanted to head with their team. They had Sabonis, Turner, then Brogdon being their main guys. Obviously, Oladipo went down with that injury about 2 years ago now, I think. 2, 3 years. And they were a really good team at one point in the Eastern Conference. They traded Malcolm Brogdon. They got some young pieces. Aaron Nesmith. I want to see what he can do. I miss him in Boston. I think he should have got more reps. He just couldn't shoot the ball well. Brings a lot of defense to this team. And Benedict Mathurin was drafted by the Pacers, and I think he's going to be really good. I'm really excited to see Tyrese Halliburton in his second season with the Pacers, running that offense. Turner's been in the trade rumors for a couple years now, so he could be on the way out sometime next season. We'll see if anyone is going to pull the trigger and trade for him. Buddy Hield, he's been involved with the Lakers trade rumors. He could be gone. So Matherin and Tyrese Halliburton, along with some other guys, Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson, and Chris Duarte, Indiana Pacers is going to have some young players to develop over the next couple seasons. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you want to see more power rankings or whatever you want me to react to this off season, we're going to be active with the videos. Hope you guys enjoy the NBA content. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll see y'all very soon. Peace.